My name is Mark Hauber. I'm from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and I'm an avian behavior ecologist interested in the brain and the endocrinology of birds in general. At HVK, I'm very interested in understanding how birds recognize their friends and their enemies. So I study birds like the cuckoos, which lay their eggs into other species' nests. And so I'm trying to understand why some bird species accept the cuckoo or the related cowbird eggs and why other species reject them. And to understand this, we need to know how the hormones, corticosterone and prolactin and other hormones involved in stress and parental care are involved in guiding the bird's decisions whether to accept these strange eggs in the nest. And to understand this, I need to generate a general model on the endocrinological basis of nesting behaviors, on egg rejection behaviors particularly, and to analyze some experimental data that we've already collected in the field back in the US, and also talking to colleagues here in Europe. Birds have all these colorful and patterned eggs. Their eggs are beautiful in their appearance to us, but it turns out that it's only caused by two pigments: biliverdins, which make the blue eggs, and protoporphyrins, which make the brown speckles. And so if you bring those two pigments together, you can make any bird species eggs. So that's what cuckoos tap into. Their genes come with this repertoire of being able to replicate any other bird species eggs, and so they become the mimics and the cheats of nature by using the same paint, the same pigments for their egg colors. So I'm a terrible role model because I never wanted to do anything else but study birds. Ever since I was 5, I was looking at birds back in Hungary where I was born, the house martins arriving and nesting under the balconies of people's houses, the white storks nesting on a tall chimney in front of our house. And so ever since then I wanted to be an ornithologist. I'm interested in behavior and how the brain directs the behavior of the birds themselves. And I try to do that by not hurting the birds. So we use fMRI and hormonal analysis from blood samples rather than doing other types of experiments that neurophysiologists, for instance, are doing. I make 3D printed eggs, I paint them different colors and then put them into the bird's nest and ask, will you accept this egg? Will you reject this egg? But we also put different chemicals on them to make them smell funny. Or we print them in different shapes so the bird has a chance to understand the shape of the objects in the nest rather than just eggs or leaves or something like that. And then we take the data, whether it's blood samples or the eggshells themselves, and then we analyze them in the lab. So one of our major projects in the lab is to understand where egg color diversity comes from, and so we extract pigments from the eggs and use mass spectrometry and HPLC, so high performance liquid chromatography, to understand why the cuckoos, for instance, in Europe are able to lay eggs that look exactly like those of the host eggs. Where does this mimicry come from? Both chemically, pigment-wise, and we are also working on the genetic basis of that mimicry. I think it's the interdisciplinary nature of the fellows and the work that gets done here. On the first day, I met a fellow who studies linguistics on Vanuatu, which is an island I've actually been to because I used to live in New Zealand, and Vanuatu is important for bird research as well. But it turns out that we knew the person who studies both linguistics and how birds use tools in New Caledonia, which is near Vanuatu. And so, to get those kind of interactions that you don't even think exist is really exciting. I also also have a former colleague of mine from New Zealand here, so we haven't seen each other in about 15 years, and she works on whales, I work on birds, both whales and birds sing, and so again we have a shared interest in animal behavior and culture and learning and just zoology in general. But there are other folks here who work on music, and of course birds make music. They are the natural music makers of the natural world, and so it's important for me to understand what human music is like and how I can analyze some of those concepts or phenomena in my birdsong research as well.